Welcome to the Washdown podcast, episode number 37. And today we have a returning guest, Captain James Kelly. And we're going to talk about, well, we talked about a lot of different stuff, but talked about leadership, race in the fire service, just a whole host of things. It was a really great conversation, a lot of great insight. Hope you guys enjoy listening to it as much as we did making it. So with that, episode number 37, the Washdown podcast with James Kelly.
I don't know that I've ever fit a nap in the schedule allotment that the nap was.
Oh, yeah. Hell no.
And I mean, even to this day, like, I'll take a chair nap, but I can't go into my bunk and lay down. I just can't. It ruins my day.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I sleep on the couch.
Yeah. I just can't go. I can't go and get under the cover. I call it an undercover nap. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'll go lay in a chair on the couch.
I will say that I do go to my bunk and take a nap at my station just because there's shenanigans.
Yeah.
If you take a nap in the day room, you are doing so at your own risk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and because you have time because you're on a truck.
Well, yeah. That's the perks. Don't hate the player.
I was going to say, it sounds like somebody's a little jealous.
Yeah,
I'm just,
that's what it sounds like.
The only time I'll ever see a truck is when I watch it leave.
Yep.
Or when I'm leaving and watch
medic
it
school
stay.
is what it was.
See? Blessing in disguise.
The boom.
So, but no, I agree totally with what you're saying because, like, I will lay down and take a nap, and like 2-3 hours later, I feel worse than I did whenever I laid down.
I just feel like I can watch TV. I can relax, but I can't close my eyes and go to sleep.
Now, if I'm laying down and relaxing and I happen to fall asleep, then I feel decent when I wake up.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, finally fell asleep on the couch at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, wife woke me up at 7 to eat.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I could if she left me alone, I slept all night.
Oh yeah.
I was that tired yesterday, all day.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to the show, James.
Woo! Thanks for having me back.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
In our new studio. What?
I don't know what was recorded, what wasn't.
That's okay.
All the inappropriate stuff that would get you fired, it wasn't recorded.
But I have it on my phone.
So
I'm going to need you to do some things.
Yeah.
They're not going to fire me. We all know it.
It may involve a prison wallet. But
yeah, ride or die.
I'm out.
Come on.
How do you like the new studio?
it's awesome, man.
I put a lot of time into it.
I like the drapes. Yeah.
Oh, that was Jeremy. Everything else I did, though.
Oh, I like that too.
And he did the ceiling.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to talk about it this time. We made the jokes already.
Okay.
Now he's over beating a dead horse.
But you weren't here, so they're like new jokes.
They're
they're not
looks great.
new jokes.
It looks good.
They're just as shitty as they were the first time.
Good thing I didn't make them.
This is
If he was making the jokes, that wouldn't be shitty. Though. It'd be hilarious.
They probably still wouldn't be hilarious. My wife tells me I'm not funny.
because she's jealous.
Because your wife's an honest woman.
No, I think they're communists. My wife doesn't laugh at my jokes either, and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Yep.
Communists. I married a communist.
My wife's red-haired, transparent skin. She's
Stalin Jr.
She's the epitome of a communist.
Make sure you edit that part out.
Dude, she don't watch the show.
Yeah.
My wife would probably be like, "Did you just call me a communist?" It was a joke.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing. That's not
See,
funny.
it was taken out of context.
Yeah.
Right. No, I clearly heard you say my wife is
Those motherfuckers edited it. I swear to God.
It's a deep fake, baby. It's a deep fake.
That is not me. Does that sound like me?
I was talking about fire tactics.
See, honey,
at that
that
point.
man sounds white. That
I
ain't me.
said communication, and they put in communist. So no.
Yeah.
That's some fancy editing.
Right. You can't see my mouth is right behind the microphone, so you can't see what I'm saying.
That's why I always face like that.
Yep.
And you had to chew in. What's wrong with you? I'm a communist, and you had to chew in. Nope, it's bubble gum.
Big league.
America.
Fine, I chew to put up with your communist ass. You happy?
Yeah. We
Look
need
what you made me
an
do.
American flag and
Yeah.
some guns.
Yeah. Don't tread on me.
Yeah. That flag, too.
Pew pew.
What does we need to do? Like, everybody come in, and that's the first thing we do. We all put our guns on the table. Like, all right, we're safe.
Yeah.
Ooh, we need to start.
I've seen the people that come on the show. Some don't understand the whole booger hook and bang stick thing.
We need to start signing the wall. That's what we ought to do.
Ooh,
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
hey,
Let's have a vote.
I
At least we
can
should sign a
be-
wall.
You're not writing on my wall.
Oh,
Hands
look,
up.
my house, my rules.
Yeah, I knew that.
My house, my rules.
It took me 2 days to do that.
Okay, and that's how we're gonna commemorate everybody coming on the show. We're gonna sign
I
it.
like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So 3-1.
It probably only would have took me about 4 hours if I'd had a Sawzall, but it took me a day and a half to pry all the pallets apart.
Man, my thighs are sore. I just snapped them in half.
I'm surprised he wasn't over there Judy chopping them.
Hey, I got me some throwing stars.
I got my star, don't worry.
Diamond Dave, School of Ninja.
Just don't go ninja. Anybody don't need ninja.
Ninja on me now.
All right, so the other James behind the camera,
America.
Mr. Moran,
America.
you had some questions. We might as well just dive right
Dive
in.
in.
I forgot.
No, you didn't forget.
No, I got.
Don't be scared.
No, I swear to God, I got busy talking about the signatures on the boards,
See
and
what
then
happened.
I really pictured you like all in your feelings, like these assholes never talk to me, like chopping wood on your own to take out your frustration.
Wait, did I have 80s music playing with a training montage while I was doing this?
No, you had some Louisiana backwoods bullshit playing.
So Zydeco music then?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, see what
Get
you
down
can
with
do
that.
is you can put the thin red line flag back there, paint it on there, and just have people sign in that.
Ooh,
And
what
then
about
when-
for the cops though? Fuck them. They can
Yeah,
sign
you're-
it.
They don't want to be
They all
fired.
wanted to be fired.
Yeah, they
Exactly.
wanted to be
They all
fired.
wanted to be fired. Man. They just couldn't cut it. I mean,
We'll put their signatures behind the drapes behind your wall.
hey, buddy, go back there and sign your name.
Yeah.
Where? Pull those drapes back. Be a little bitty.
There's a little thing on
3 by
that storage
3, yeah.
shelf back there. It's a postcard.
There you go. It's all filled out. Well, I guess you got to flip it over. Sign the back.
Where are you mailing it to? The families you've killed,
real-
assholes.
Whoa!
Boom, boom.
Well, that's half our viewership gone.
Yep.
No.
Sorry, blue team. We'll take
Love
care of
you.
James later. Don't worry.
It's a very cop thing to say of you.
It's
Let's
all
go prison
love.
rules on it.
Prison rules, prison wallets. Hey,
Yeah. Where's your shank?
and my prison wallet.
Right here.
Wait, we're not having weapons on the podcast. Put that away. Although the sound carries
That's going
very.
to get us banned on YouTube
Yeah.
for sure.
Maybe you should be on a better platform.
Name another platform.
Was it Parlor? Was it the one?
That got shut down, buddy.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans would work.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're going to need new content now.
Boom.
Yeah,
Here it is.
What?
Yeah, they're you can't be nude and stuff on there anymore.
yeah, they're shutting it down.
Isn't that like 99.99999 carrying over percent of what OnlyFans does?
Yeah.
But on the plus side, all our waitresses come back.
Yeah, I saw that meme too. It wasn't funny when I read it.
And in some case, nursing staff improves.
That I buy.
Sorry,
Gotta
ladies.
go back to work.
Hey, it wasn't just ladies on there.
Look at my prison wallet.
I know somebody who's got an OnlyFans.
www.sexualchocolate.com.
Sexual chocolate.
Oh, good Lord. We're not going down that rabbit hole.
But yeah, we're not going down that rabbit hole.
Why?
Nope. I'm
Watching those movies
climbing back
directly
up.
affects your mental health.
I'm kicking the
in a
ladder
positive
over. We're
way.
going back down.
So anyway,
What's
Yes.
new with you, man? How you been?
Good, man. Just starting to try to wrap my mind around preparing for this next promotional exam in April. Starting to read some stuff.
You're gonna take it, huh?
Yeah, I the reality of it is I have to take it,
Chief.
just because the opportunity that's before me. If I look at the demographic of management throughout the industry, there's not a lot of blacks at the top, and if I have an opportunity to make it to the top, why not take that opportunity? Am I ready? No. I'll have 18 years on in January. I think that's still too young. I'm not ready to go to that next level, but I owe it to my family, number one, because that's why I work, to support them and to make things better for them. And if I have an opportunity to make more money, which would be a better life for them, then why not? But at the same time, I don't think I'm ready. I'd rather get to that point when I'm about 20, 22 years on. I can do the next 4 to 5 years and then ride off into the sunset. But I will take it.
What I hear, though, is you're preparing for a challenge.
Yeah.
You're not saying, how can I make this easy? You're saying, what can I do to better myself?
Yeah, and better myself. And then I think what we all have to do is we have to look at ways to make our job, our craft better. How can I bring people up to where I'm at? I think if I make it, when I make it to that level, I do myself and my community and those that I work with, I do them a disservice if I don't try to bring them up with me, and that's why, the guys that I work with, I always make myself available. If you want to talk about, what it is to be a company officer, let's talk about it. If you want to talk about what it is to be a chief for that day when I work out of class, let's talk about it, and I think that's where we have gotten away from our traditions is we allow the older guys to leave without getting the knowledge first before that person leaves, and then we're stuck trying to figure out, well, how did they do it? So I think as we get to those next levels in your career, it's important to look back at the individuals that are behind you and say, okay, I need you to come up to this level. Here's how we get there. And I think that's what's missing is that, training, whether it be the practical side of it or the informational side. I think that's where we're lacking in this industry, is that we don't share the information readily. And I think that's a downside to me.
When it comes to testing.
Yeah, when it comes to testing and not only testing, but just doing your job, period. You think about companies that are busier and those companies don't always go out and train. Well, you still have new guys and young guys, but the thought process is we're going to have a fire sooner than another company that's not busy. So we're going to get that opportunity to work the reps in. But you still need to get those guys ready for that opportunity that's going to come sooner rather than later. And I think that's where slower companies are a little bit more advantageous for younger guys. But at the same time, if you start looking at job-wide, some of these busier spots are becoming younger and younger. So you still have to make sure that those young guys are equipped to handle the workload that's coming before them. I think that's where we're kind of missing out in our job.
And what's interesting is I think not only equipped skill knowledge,
yeah,
but mentally.
Absolutely, especially mentally. Yeah.
This. You aren't staying up partying like you did in college. You're staying up working.
Yeah. That's a huge difference. I mean, you think about when the bells go off. I mean, you go from 0 to 1,000 in a matter of seconds, and you got to be able to think, where's this call at? If you're driving that day, I got to know from my station, what's the most efficient way to get there? Which way are other companies coming from? What type of house could this be? All those types of things. I didn't ever look at building construction when I was a firefighter until another firefighter who was more senior than me was like, every time we go on an EMS call, look at the layout of the house. I'm like, that's stupid for what? He goes, well, when we have a fire there or in that neighborhood, you now know where the stairs are.
See, and that makes the point that I was going to make a second ago about why would you think that it is a good idea to, okay, yeah, we're going to get more fire and we'll just teach them at the fire. Okay, well, you're teaching them in a life and death situation.
Right.
Potentially.
Right.
Don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not do what there are some organizations that are very successful in training their people, and they do the crawl, walk, run method.
Yeah.
They teach you at a slow pace, then they ramp it up, and then it's full speed.
Yeah.
Why are we going, okay, hey, that's on fire. You go in there, you could die. Figure it out.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
asinine
put the
to me.
wet stuff on the red stuff. That's
Yeah.
all you got to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's not it, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, even in those areas where you are busier, it's even more important, especially whenever you have young guys, to train them up.
Absolutely.
Because consequences are immediate.
Life and death,
So, yeah, that was just my point.
James, I'm curious. You brought up, you discussed, just with our department specifically, but like the demographics, especially of race and upper management. What's your goal? Not just, it's one thing to have a black man, have an Hispanic man. It's one thing to look good. How do you plan to use that to grow the department?
So for me, and this may just be my own thought process, but for me, it is important for someone that looks like me.
Beautiful.
To, but it's important for, a young black female or male to see someone that looks like them in a leadership capacity. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that person is going to be a fireman or a firefighter, but it just shows that, the stigma that is around the African-American community is that, everyone is a laborer, or that, you can only do a certain skill set. But I think if I can be the bridge that shows, hey, you can actually become a leader. You don't have to be a firefighter, but maybe you want to be a nurse or a doctor, or you want to own your own business. You can do that. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I see in going to the next level, is that I am giving someone now a glimpse of what they can be, what they can do in their life. And not necessarily, yes, in the fire department too, because there are, young blacks in our career that need to see that. But I think from a bigger or a broader perspective is that we have to show that you don't just have to take what you're given. You can take those lemons that you've been dealt, and you can make lemonade out of it. You can become as successful as you want to, whether you are, maybe you're a mechanic and you want to own your own shop. Well, you can do that. You can be successful, but I think you have to have a picture. You have to see someone that looks like you being successful in order for you to get that motivation. Well, you know what, if he can do it, why can't I?
How do you differentiate between look what I've done as a black man versus look what I've done as a man and I happen to be black?
That's tough. I think for myself, I always try to set my goals super, super high. My grandfather always say, shoot for the stars, aim for the stars, and if you fall short, at least or aim for the moon, and if you fall short, at least you're amongst the stars. And so I always try to set the goal or the bar as high as I can possibly set it. Doesn't mean I'm going to always reach it, no. But I mean, if I give it my all, I still am disappointed that I didn't make it to where I wanted to make it. But if I've become a better person in that process, then I think that's the end game for me, is just to become better than I was when I started that process. And I think for me, that is the biggest thing, is just to make myself better, and then to leave the job better than what I found it. Not that the job is in dire straits, but I think we have to stop looking at it from a selfish point of view and start seeing how, as a person, as a man, how can I make this thing better than it was when I first got here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then having the perspective of going, like you said, I'm going to shoot for the stars or the moon or whatever. Yeah. Whenever you get to wherever you're getting, being able to look back and go, okay, well, I didn't make it quite here, but I had all of these successes along the way, and I'm this much further along. Yeah. Okay, so now it's time to go again.
And, I think for me, I'm an open book to anybody. The guys that I work with, I make myself readily available to anyone. But I think it goes back to what I was talking about, seeing someone that looks like you that's in that position. I sometimes find it disheartening that, I don't always get the young black firefighter that comes to me for the information. It's someone that doesn't look like me that says, hey, can you help me out? Absolutely. I'm not going to say, well, you're not black, I'm not going to help you out. If you come to me and seek knowledge, I'm going to help you out. But I think sometimes it's disheartening to me that I'm not a wealth of knowledge, but I have enough knowledge to help you to get to where I am, and nobody takes advantage of that. I don't think there aren't that many blacks that take advantage of what they see before them. I think when I say we, the black community, I think sometimes we become complacent and that we don't take advantage of what's in front of us. And I tell them, use me up, man. If you need help with something, whatever I got, I'm going to give it up to you. And if I can't help you with that, I'll help you find the answer. And I've always said that to anybody that I help, man. I may not know all the answers, but I promise you this, I'll help you get to that answer. And I think that's, to me, sometimes that's disheartening to see that, my people don't come and seek the knowledge from me. When I was taking my exam, preparing, I talked to everybody. I went and I got information from guys that were retired, that are on the job, from different departments. I talked to everybody. I wanted to know as much as I could about this broad subject that they're trying to test you over. I wanted to know it all. Did I know it all? No, but I knew enough to get myself in a position to be prepared for the exam now it's going to be placed before me. And I think that's what we got to do. You got to get something from everybody. But I think sometimes for me, I find disheartening that I'm a black man in this position that you should be trying to get to, but you won't come to me. And maybe it's wrong of me, but I'm not going to come to you. I'm not going to say, hey, man, you want to know this? Come to me. And I tell anybody, the young guys that come on, hey, whatever you want to know about this job, I'll help you out. Do I know it all? Nope. But if I don't know it, I'll help you get the answer.
So why do you think they don't?
I think for the most part, I know for me, especially being young on the job, and you guys know this too, this job could be very intimidating. And I don't think it's anything specific to any department. I think it's just the nature of what we do. It is so intense that we kind of focus on what we're doing at that time, or what our niche is in that department, and you get focused in on that, and you put your blinders up. Instead of you looking at the broad picture, you're kind of looking at this narrow picture, and that's good to a certain extent. But once you get to a certain point in your career, the blinders should go from here to here. I think as you grow in your years of service, you should start broadening that perspective so that you can see the bigger picture. As a young firefighter, yeah, you're focusing on, I got to do this.
James, I've noticed something too. We as African Americans as a race are really bad about is we put our race first in regards to things.
Yeah.
And people like you and I that we don't. We are firefighters. We are men.
Mm-hmm.
You're a husband. You're a father. We are firefighters. We are many things before we're black.
Correct.
And by not identifying ourselves by our race first with that, the younger generation that are taught to see that way don't come to us for those things.
Yeah.
Don't come to you for those things because he's not one of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's sad, but I have been told that, I'm different, which is okay. I'm great with being different, but the biggest thing for me, I am always conscious and aware of, what I am. I can't change what I am. I am a black man, but I'm always conscious of, well, let me say that I'm conscious of who I am. I'm a black man, but what I am is ever changing. I can't change who I am. I was born black. I'm going to be black until the day they put me in the ground. But
there are surgeries.
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa's not black anymore.
That's true. That's true.
His credit score still didn't go up.
I think what we are kind of defines our life, and I pride myself on constantly evolving what I am. And I try to make myself conscious of that on a daily basis. It always bothers me when people throw race ahead of everything else. And yes, we should be conscious of race, but I don't think that should be the end all be all.
To me, I don't get it because it's something you can't change. Like you said,
correct.
you're going to be a size 13 shoe till the day you die too.
Yeah.
And we don't say, hey, that's a size 13 shoe firefighter.
Yeah.
You know, it's a trait that ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
We can't be more or less.
Yeah.
So why don't we work on the things that we can define us, that we can improve?
And you know, my experiences as a firefighter, I mean, there were situations where, you know, I was on calls and, you know, I've been called out of my name, and I'm sure that, you know, I don't think it's necessarily a black and white thing. I think there are some white guys on the job that have been called out of their name too. But I think what we have to do is we have to become more. We have to develop a thicker skin. I don't begrudge someone for, you know, their faults. I still, at the end of the day, I look at it as I got a job to do. You know, you called 911 when you're at your worst. You've tried to mitigate the situation yourself. You couldn't do it. You dialed 911. You need some help. You got me. You know, whether you like someone that looks like me or not, I'm here to help you. You either want my help or you don't. And we ran a call, and this was many years ago, where, you know, a guy was like, nope, you can't come in the house. All right, no problem. I won't come in.
Then.
And, you know, the guys go in, they start doing their thing, and the guy codes. They need somebody to ride with them. I raise my hand. I'm going. Get the guy back. He wakes up. He looks like, the hell are you doing here? I just helped you. I saved you. And the look on his face was priceless. Priceless. I was like, I don't care what you called me. I said, you dialed 911 because you needed help. I'm here to help you. Now, I could have been that guy who was like, yeah, I'm not going to help him, you know, screw him. I've never been one to hold on to racial issues and negate or forget about what my primary goal and my responsibility is, and that's to help. You know, I think that's why we all became firefighters, that we have something innate within us that says, I want to help. And regardless of what that situation turns out to be, you're there to do a job. So I don't know. I just think sometimes we're a little too thin-skinned. We take things to heart too much. And I think that's not just a fire department thing. I think that's life in general. I think we're too thin-skinned. You know, everything is
politically correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, I agree with you with the whole, we need to have a thicker skin, and we're there to be professional and all that stuff. I wonder how much of some of the, we'll just call it lack of professionalism, is due to burnout and things like that. I mean, I think it's a contributing factor. I think but I think it's just a factor.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot of guys that forget why we're doing what we're doing. So.
Yeah. I mean,
when you get constantly berated every day.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the calls you go on, you reach a breaking point, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And one person gets the brunt of it.
Yeah.
And just because you wear a uniform and you're in public service doesn't mean you're a punching bag.
Yeah.
And this goes across the board. I don't care if you're a cop, a firefighter, or EMS, nurses, doctors, corporations. And for whatever reason, the people up top forgot what it was like to be down at the bottom. And they're like, nope, you got to take it, you got to take it. No, I don't, because you don't take it.
No comment.
Well,
pass.
This goes across the board. This is everyone.
Yeah.
And we all do it. Because I know for a fact that I've watched you do it, and I've done it. We forgot where we came from as firefighters. And we berated young ones because they didn't know. Because we forgot where we came from and what we had to learn to get to where we are. It's a flaw that every person in this world has.
I'm interested.
And it doesn't change.
James, I'm interested.
Well, you have to constantly. Sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
just going to
good.
jump in real quick.
Yeah.
You have to constantly remind yourself and that's where the self-awareness part comes in.
Yeah.
Of
You
thinking
got to
about
be humbled.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, all of us need to be knocked down a peg or two.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, and it
And
would
it
be
doesn't happen anymore because nobody wants to talk up
Well,
to the people that are above them.
it would be beneficial if you humbled yourself. That's
Yeah,
ideal.
and
Instead of having to get bitch slapped and going, "Hey, you're being a dickhead."
But sometimes because you don't always recognize it.
Right.
We've all done it.
But I think too, it goes back to, you know, being that young firefighter and you had those blinders on. You got to look at the standpoint of, you know, not just on this job, but upper management. Their vision has gone from here to now here. So for them, it's a numbers game. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't care, but their bottom line is different than our bottom line. You know, their bottom line is numbers. I have to make sure that this thing is running as proficient as it can. I don't really care how it gets there, but I needed to get there. And so they're looking at the broader picture, whereas we're looking at a more narrow vision or narrow picture, and we see only 50 to 75%. They got to look at the whole 100% picture. And so their vision is going to be it's no different than when you're a firefighter and you're going into a fire, all you see is there's the red stuff, I'm going in. Versus when you become a captain, you say, okay, I see the red stuff, but now I've got to look at the full 360 of the structure, and I got to look at, you know, are there bars on the door? You know, are there cars in the front yard? You know, what time of day is it? They're thinking of more than just take this hose line to the front door, put it out. They're looking at a bigger picture. So as you get to that position of management, your perspective is now broadened. So now you have more things that are on your plate. So you have to be more conscious of those things. And again, the end game is always going to be the same, but how you get there from the top versus the bottom man is totally different. So, I mean, I don't begrudge, you know, management for what they do. And I think the system is designed that way. I think that, you know, if we are fortunate enough to all make it there, and you'll see, Jeremy, once you get to the next level, you'll see how your perspective goes from narrow to now broader. And you see it now too. When you ride out, you go from looking at this to this, whether it's a house fire, an EMS call, a car wreck, you're looking at this where your guys are looking at this. Okay, I got the patient right here. I'm focused on him. You're looking at the patient. You're looking at the house, what's in the house, who's in the house. How do I get these resources to my guys to make this patient better? So your perspective is a lot broader than what those guys are looking at. So I don't begrudge them, and I don't think that you're wrong. I just think that we have to have a better understanding both ways, from the top to the bottom to the top. We have to have a better perspective of what it is that their job or their duties are, and be a little bit more understanding of what it is that we're trying to do. And at the end of the day, we still have one common goal, but how we get to that common goal is going to be totally different.
I'm curious.
I do know that when you poke a hole in a hose on a car, duct tape won't fix it. It won't run right.
I'm curious now that you have made that transition. I still say fairly recently from firefighter to leader to captain. And this truly, we see it in our job a lot, but this is almost a nationwide issue in fire and EMS. Fire departments are running more and more EMS. Call volumes are up. It ain't your daddy's fire department.
Correct.
How do you, as a leader, how are you making that transition from I didn't do what I'm asking those below me to do, but how do I still maintain the respect and the knowledge in order to appropriately lead them?
For me, and this is just my leadership style, I lead from the front. You know, I'm never going to ask, you know, someone to do something that I'm not going to do myself. The best way to teach somebody is to show them. And whether that is through training or actually getting on an ambulance, that's what you have to do. I think a lot of times you're correct. We don't, when you look at the trend of fire services from, let's just go 20 years ago, the bottom line is that newer guys coming on will never run the amount of fire that those older guys ran. You know, when I first came on, you know, guys were running 3 and 4 house fires a day. You know, I'll never see the amount of fire that those guys saw. But I think the trend of EMS is I can't say global, but it is definitely a nationwide trend where we are running more EMS calls versus fire calls. And I think that's where this career is going. We are now EMS departments that run fire. And I think once we broaden our horizon, broaden our perspective, we understand that, I think the better we'll be for that. But for me, in order for me to maintain my integrity and to be able to teach my guys the proper way to do it, is I have to be coachable or teachable myself. But then I have to take that perspective of, I'm not going to tell you to do it. I'm going to show you. If there's a time that I need to get on the ambulance to give you guys some relief, I'm going to do it. Now, again, especially when we look at our department, the majority of firefighters will never let a captain get on the ambulance. But if you take that leadership and say, you know what, I've seen over the last week how you guys have been inundated with calls. You've gotten little time to have a hot meal, you know, take a load off your feet. Let me do this for you. Let me show you that I'm in this with you. And I think that's where the disconnect kind of comes from, is that you do have that old school captain that says, you know what, I didn't come on the job when this was a part of the department. This is new. This is for you guys to handle. You guys figure it out. Well, we can't do that. You figure it out type of leadership anymore. You have to be the guy that jumps in there and actually shows the next generation how it's supposed to be done. Because the sad part about it is if you keep on with that trend of, I didn't come on the job to do this, then the next generation, once they ascend to that rank of captain or leader, now they're going to do the same thing to that young guy. Well, you know what? I did my 10 or 15 years on the box. I'm done. And that's just, I mean, it's a vicious cycle, but in order for us to break it, you have to lead from the front. And I think that's where that is, I know from our department, that's kind of the biggest gripe that I have, is that we have a lot of guys at the top that will tell you what to do, especially when it comes to ambulance, but they won't show you. They won't show you the right way to do it. They'll tell you, do this, you guys figure it out, versus I'm going to show you how it's done. And that's not a look at me type deal, but it is one of those things. You have to be an effective leader. In order for you to be an effective leader, you've got to be able to throw yourself in the trenches with your guys, not just on one particular call, not just on, we got a fire, I'm going to take the line in. No. If there is a CPR code in progress, what's wrong with the captain getting down there and doing CPR? Nothing at all. But that mentality now in our job as well, you know what, I've done that before, that's for you guys. Yeah, maybe not.
That brings me back to the whole, this is a team sport.
Correct.
You know, and everybody's got a job to do.
Correct.
So.
Correct. And to me, that doesn't, it's not a, I don't think that's a black or white issue. That is, we are all, at the end of the day, irregardless of rank, we're all firefighters. We all came on this job to do one specific thing, and that's to help. And if you are able to lead in the front, from the front, why not do it? Just imagine the amount of respect that you get as a company officer from your guys. Like, wow, you know what, this guy's got 20 plus years on, and here he is driving the ambulance for 12 hours or for the whole shift. This guy's got 20 plus years on, and here he is on his hands and knees doing CPR. Wow. I mean, I think that's how you change the mentality and the dynamic and the respect factor on this job, is that you throw yourself into all calls, not just the calls that are cool. And everybody knows, man, that fire's cool. Look at me, look at my gear. Man, that's great. I don't care if I ever go in a house fire again and I get the nozzle. The only way that firefighter is going to learn how to be a better firefighter is taking that line through the front door and fighting that fire. I can tell them all day long, well, you should do this, do that. But if they never get any practical experience, I'm doing them a disservice. So as a captain, I don't have a crew, but when I am on a crew, I tell my guys, if you're comfortable with a line, it's yours. I'll be right there behind you, telling you what to do. If you ask me, telling you what I see, and we're gonna go handle our business. But I think the old school train of thought is my company, my nozzle. That's not necessarily wrong, especially if you got a young crew. But the only way that crew is going to get seasoned is if you allow them the opportunity to make a mistake, learn from the mistake, and get better.
I think that old school thought of my crew, my nozzles kind of gone mostly to the wayside.
Yeah.
There hasn't been too many crews I've worked with that the captain's taken it anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
And even if I get right out, it's you. I got it. I'll be behind you.
My perspective is the same. It's how are they going to learn if they don't do it, and especially with having the nozzle.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be right there next to him.
Absolutely. As you should be.
Yeah.
As you should
Because
be.
that's my job.
It's a brand new guy.
Yeah. That's my job as the company officer, is to be there to show him what he's missing and to make sure that he stays safe.
Yeah. I when I was newly promoted, we had a bad extrication, and I had been on a truck company for years, and I had a pretty seasoned crew. We had a bad extrication, and I knew enough what I needed to do, but I empowered my crew at that time, like, hey, you guys know what to do. You tell me what you need, I'll make it happen. I didn't go out and say, you give me that tool, I'm going to cut this, I'm going to pop this. No, hey, if you got it, go for it. Tell me what you need. I need this. I got you. Tell me how can I help you. Hey, if you can go do this, I got you. No problem. I'm here to empower you to make you better at your job, because in the end, as the leader, all of their expertise and you know, their job well done and their attaboys, it reflects back on you. They're not going to go to that firefighter and go, hey, man, you did a great job. They're going to go, hey, Cap, your crew was awesome. They did a wonderful job. Thanks. And what I do, man, you know what the chief just said? Said you guys rocked it.
Yep.
For real? Now their confidence is up. Now their morale is up. The next time we get a call, they're ready to do something else. Like, all right, what do I got? Let's go to work. I think that's the way you empower and you make and train great leaders, is that you give them the opportunity to do. We give them, and I think as a leader, you have to empower those people that are under you to be successful. You got to give them that power, and I think that's what a good leader does.
Yeah, you set your people up for success.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, their success or failure, it reflects directly back on you.
Absolutely, all day long.
So, I mean, that's the whole kind of like extreme ownership thing that Jocko talks about is, ultimately as the leader, regardless of the result, it falls on you.
It falls on you.
Because either you failed to prepare your people correctly, you know, or you did.
Yep. I mean, you can equate that to, you know, raising a family, to being a CEO, to running your own business. If I give you the tools and I empower you to be successful, it's a win-win. We all look good.
You are 100% correct.
Sweet.
I look good every day. I don't care.
Yeah, you look damn good. Damn good. Yeah.
I'm dead sexy.
You don't have to kiss his ass.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he does. Because I make him look good at the station.
Oh, yeah.
Well, by comparison.
I mean, and you know, the reality
Different
of it
levels.
is even as a captain, you know, there's times we're doing things around the station, and you know, guys be like, "Oh man, you shouldn't be washing dishes." And I'm like, man, that's not to me, chores and stuff like that. That's not a rank specific thing. I mean, if there's something that needs to be done around the station, I'm not going to go like, "Hey, you firefighter, go do that." I'm going to get up. I'm going to go do it. Now, if you see me doing it and you want to come help, by all means, let's go.
I'm good.
But yeah, I'm not gonna tell you, hey man, go clean the toilets. No, if it's my bathroom, I'm gonna clean it. I'm not gonna tell her, man, go clean my toilet. No, I'm more able.
It's like a relationship, right? If it's like, hey, you make your decisions best for you, and I make my decisions best for me, it's not much of a relationship.
Yeah.
If I make my decisions and the best choices of you, and you make your decisions the best choices of me, all of a sudden it works pretty well. And that's what I've noticed about, you know, captains. It's kind of the same thing. If the captain makes his decisions in the best interest of the crew, and the crew makes their decisions in the best interest of the captain, all of a sudden it's a pretty functional team.
Very much so. I agree.
And that could be for anything. You know, if the line workers make their decisions the best leaders of management, and management vice versa, sounds like a pretty fun place to work to me.
I say I run my house, but
You don't run your house.
there.
My perspective in my house is if you see something that needs to be done, do it. I shouldn't have to tell my son, hey, the dishes need to be done. You see there's dishes in the sink? That means, oh, I need to go do it. If I see something that needs to be done at the station, on the scene, there are times when you may have to give an order to go do something, but if I'm available, why not just go do it? Because again, now you're looking at your guys are looking at you like, wow, you know what? He didn't bark an order, he just went and did it. Hey, how can I help you? Oh, hey, grab that. Help me do this. No problem.
So, but how do you deal with, and I know you've been a DSO, so you haven't really had your own crew like as a permanent spot. How do you deal with they see you over there doing something, they're like, oh, he's got it.
Honestly,
I feel attacked.
I don't.
You feel it.
And maybe it's because I am so new, or even from a leadership standpoint, I'm still so young in my career. I still feel like there is no task too small that I cannot do. I mean, because if you think about it, on a call, whether it's car wreck, fire, whatever it is, there are certain things that just need to be done. And my assumption would be that if I've empowered you and I've told you what my expectations are, you're going to be doing those things. So if I look to the left or the right and I see something that hasn't been done, but you're off on another task, why not go do it? Why not just take care of it? Why not just handle it versus saying, hey, you stop doing that, go do that? I got it, no problem.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest.
The angle of my question was more of they're not doing anything. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now and you're doing everything, and they're just they get to the point of expecting you to just
I think
Cap's got the dishes, or he's going to mop the floor.
Yeah, I think again it is it's kind of that old school mentality that we were brought in under, is that you try to, for lack of better terminology, you try to shame someone into doing it. Like if I see a senior captain, or if I see a chief doing something, I'm going to do my best to mosey my way over there to take it from them, or I'm going to do it for them. But and we bust chops a lot, like, oh, don't worry about it, I got it. And I think you start that, again, for lack of better terminology, you shame them. But then once the task is completed, I try to follow up with hey, you probably should have went over there and done that. If you see a chief or you see somebody over there that probably, not they shouldn't be doing it, but it's something that you probably should have been doing, yeah, man, you probably should have went out there. For example, washing the rig. You see your driver out there washing the rig, and you're sitting in there watching TV or on your phone, you probably should have went out there and helped them. That's just a suggestion, but after a while, that suggestion becomes, hey, get up, we're going to wash the rig. Yeah.
I wash the rig. Don't look at me.
I'll
wash your rig.
I was just
look at me that way.
I was just looking at
just
you because
I don't like
hot.
doing dishes.
That's all.
Or cleaning toilets.
I just like to look at a good man every now and again.
But now if I see him doing it, I'm like, nah, he can do it.
And that's my.
If I see the chief doing it, I'm like, finally, you're doing something.
That's and
jeez, man.
I will go out and there are times when I am out there and they've been busy all morning, and I will go out and I'll start washing the buggy. I don't expect them to come out. I'm like, it's my rig, I got it. Now there's guys that come out like, hey, can I help you? Nope, I got it. And I'll tell them, no, seriously, put it down. I am probably in a deep thought process. This is helping me to think through some things. Don't worry about it. Now, if you come out and you ask me, do you need some help? Yeah, sure, you can help. But there are some times where this is my way of decompressing, or maybe my way of thinking through some things. I need this time, this 20, 30 minutes to myself, and I'm going to help myself get better. Just leave me alone for a little bit. Yep.
I used to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd wash the rig, but I'd wait till he was taking a nap.
Yeah.
And do it, and then talk shit.
Oh, well, I mean,
That's the only reason you did it, was so you could throw
Exactly.
shitballs.
Well, no, usually I was in a bad mood for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I'd watch it in the afternoon during nap time.
but it was a way for you to work through some stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I think
Just a bonus you can talk shit to your friend.
I mean, that's kind of, and I think again it goes to, you know, mental health and mental awareness. You have to be aware of what's going on in you internally. If I just need to get out and be by myself, I'll go out and I'll start cleaning something. Hey, man, need some help? I got it. You sure? Trust me. If I need your help, I'd say, yeah, come on, help me out. But if I'm doing it, just leave me alone. I'm doing something to get myself in a better frame of mind so that I can complete the day and not snap. So, yeah. I think, again, it just goes to, you know, being on the job long enough and being aware of your own shortcomings and things that you have to work through and realizing that right now I'm probably not in the best mental space, so let me get myself where I need to be. This is my time to myself to decompress.
Yep. Well, and I think that unfortunately the sad truth is that, and I don't want to throw numbers out or say a lot of people, but it seems like a lot of people aren't that self-aware.
Yeah, you know, and I don't like to throw shade to against the younger generation, but I think it is a generational thing. I think that, you know, there's a certain age group where we are more self-sufficient, self-aware of certain things, and some of, not all, but some of the younger generation, they need a push, a subtle bump. You know, I think we were brought in, or we came into this industry where, you know, you just did things, and I think now you've gotten a trend, and it's not just in our industry, but I think you now have to spell things out now. You have to spell out, okay, we're checking the rig now, or hey, we're done checking the rig, we're going to wash the rig now. You have to spell it out. You knew when you first came on what the routine of the day was, and that routine sometimes today is sometimes muddy because there's so much other stuff that goes on in the morning. Calls. Those things get looked over, but you know it because you're used to that routine. So if you see that, hey, it's 11 o'clock and we haven't done this, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Where that newer guy might be like, oh, we haven't done that. Well, I guess we're not gonna do it today.
You know, I, as a qualified representative of the youth,
the two youths.
I don't know if you're right. I think it's a little bit of a bump, but I also think it's a purpose. Because for a long time, it's like, hey, we're doing this. Why? We just do it.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you. Tell me why.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I won't do it. I just want to know why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think, especially in our job, as quick as choices have to be made, I don't have time to tell you why we're doing it. I need you to shut up, do it. Yep. We can talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
But a lot of us are like, no.
Yeah.
Tell me yeah.
I mean, I know where I worked prior to promoting, we washed the rig every night after dinner. The rig could have been spotless, but that was just our routine. And then the next shift, they did it every morning. We just washed it not even 12 hours ago.
Clean ass rig.
And they're coming in and they're doing it all over. And I'm like, you know, you could look at them and be like, wow, man, they think we're a piece of shit. No, this is their routine. This is a part of their day. This is how they get their day going. This is an order that they follow. It's not a disrespect thing, but this is what they do. So if you teach the newer generation the routine or the ways of that company or the ways of that department, then it's not so much, it's less ambiguous. There's nothing left to say. You just know. But I think a lot of the newer generation, you're right, they need a why. Why am I doing this? We just do it.
Remember the old list we used to have on the wall or the board?
Mm-hmm. Every day had
Monday was the
every day had an assignment. Correct.
Yep.
Tuesday was Windows.
Dude, we talked about this at the station the other day, and we could not. None of us, for the life of us, could remember what day was. No, it was this day. No. We know that Saturday is yard day and Sunday is bay floor day because we still do those.
And
Friday's kitchen.
Friday's kitchen.
So those 3 days stayed the same.
Stayed the same, but every other day has just kind of fallen off.
Tuesdays was Windows. I'm pretty sure Monday was compartment day.
We still have it hanging on.
Raise the cab.
Yeah, you raised the cab, you did your compartments, you checked all your fluids, all that. You pulled it out, and you cleaned out the the compartments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, I don't either.
Wasn't one of them ladders? I swore I want to say Wednesday was ladders.
Well, Wednesday could have been ladders.
Might have been.
Okay, I'll give you. Yeah, but I remember there was a ladder day, so that was probably Wednesday. Ladder / hose day.
Yeah, it just goes to traditions. Some traditions just don't stick. Every Sunday is Italian. Saturday is Mexican, and it just those things stuck. And I don't know if that was just the more popular things, but I think again, you ask any new guy that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know Sunday is pasta day. I know Saturday is Mexican day." But then you ask them, "Hey, what day do we do this?" I don't know. We don't do that.
I am curious with some of the older traditions, and just for especially the fire service, this is a nationwide thing. If it's hard to keep them with, not as an excuse, but if we sit down and look at it, if with run numbers,
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we'll start cleaning in the morning.
Oh yeah.
We don't finish.
Yeah.
We don't get it finished.
Yeah.
At least on the ambulance,
Oh yeah.
Or you start doing dishes and you're one plate in, and
Yeah.
now you're gone.
Yeah.
And
that,
you might be gone for an hour.
We there's been times where in our house where the pumper and ambulance is gone. It's right after dinner, and they were in the process of washing dishes. I get up and I go do it. Man, you didn't have to do that. Well, why wouldn't I do that? There's a task that needed to be done. You were gone. Why? Don't shake. I do. I do.
No, he doesn't.
But
I've seen you do it, Jim.
Yeah,
I've
I mean,
seen you do it.
it's just again it goes
Well,
back
I have
to
to redo the dishes when I get back.
it goes back to one of
Does
those.
a May shift good?
Yeah.
That's you just do good enough C shift. But no, it goes to just goes back to if you see a task that needs to be done, just do it. It doesn't regardless of rank or position. If there's something that needs to be done, just do it. Especially if it's something that needs to be done, just do it.
Well, and I think it's and we talk about run volume and how much it's increased and all of that stuff. And I think it's it's about time that we started stepping up and doing those little type of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's, oh yeah, you're a captain. You don't have to do dishes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm a captain who's a DSO, and both of my companies have been hammered all day long, and now they're gone again. Why am I going to sit here and not, do the dishes? Or
Correct.
They're leaving and dinner's almost ready. Somebody's got to step in and take over.
Every single time, so when our cook or whoever's cooking is cooking and the bells go off and they get a run, first thing I do, hey, what you need me to do? What do I need to do? Hey, these are in. Check them in about 10 minutes. Take them out. No problem. Hey, can you put these on the grill? No problem. I got it. It is. It definitely is different in that regards. Run volume is through the roof. I don't think there's not a such thing anymore, at least within our department. There's not a such thing as a slow company. You have slower, but runs happen, north, south, east, west. I mean, some more frequent than others, but yeah, you're right. I mean,
they're always ill-timed.
There's nothing that's ever perfect. I mean, just think about sitting down.
Hard to think about the time we get a night in anymore.
Think about, you sitting there and you just want to watch the football game and boom, bells go off and you come back and you got to watch the first kickoff and then you come back. Wow, it's halftime.
Don't even get me started. I've been trying to watch the Little League World Series for a week, and I've gotten like 4 innings.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean,
You miss some good baseball.
I know. I keep seeing the box
Rub that
scores
in
and the
your face.
highlights. Yeah.
Been a lot of no hitters.
Yeah. I
there's
actually
one
did
kid
get to watch
man,
the.
I don't know.
He's
this
like
kid
one
can't
hit
be
the whole-
12. Yeah, he can't be 12. This kid is throwing heat. I mean, he's throwing
Oh, the
nasty
kid from
stuff.
South Dakota.
Yeah. He's throwing like 78 miles an hour,
Nasty.
Dude,
which is
that
about 90
slider,
something.
Nasty.
that slider and he's left-handed, and he's throwing that. It's like that's a major league pitch.
He looks like he's 6'7". I don't think I could hit him.
Yeah, I couldn't.
No, he's throwing some stuff that
I'm gonna
just
bunt.
starts high and goes.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, and it just right across, and
Yeah.
it's like, and these kids. I mean, whenever they played, because they played Louisiana, I think Louisiana had a total of like 5 foul balls. That's the only time they got the ball on the bat.
Yeah.
You know what I've noticed watching the Little League World Series here in the last couple of weeks? A lot of these kids are doing it. They're stepping in the bucket. I've watched it. Like, step straight, man.
Yeah.
They take that step back, and all of a sudden their reach is gone.
Yeah.
But it also affects their height.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're scared of the ball or because it's moving so much.
I mean,
I don't know what the deal is.
Hitting is down this year.
Hitting is down, and I think a lot of it has to do with, it. You can look at it from any industry or whatever. You start looking at the little kids, or let's think about the evolution of basketball. It used to be a big man was always in the paint. You had a small point guard. You had a couple of wing guys who are great shooters. And that was it. But now you got guys that are 7 foot, that are killing it from the 3-point line. Nobody goes in the paint anymore. A true big man in the NBA or in college basketball is rare. So I think when you start looking at Little League baseball, they're watching these pros and they're watching all the different nuances that they go through in their batting routines and how they got a crazy first step. And I think they're trying to mimic those things. So TV and media has played a huge part in all of it, and everybody wants to be the next, Michael Jordan or the next Mike Trout. And
here's my argument against that. The one college team that's very fundamentally sound and always awesome.
Who's that?
I can't stand them.
Tennessee?
No.
Who?
They're up in the Northeast.
Northeast.
Gonzaga.
Oh, well.
That's the Northwest, buddy.
That's it, East. I meant West.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Northwest.
Yeah.
But think about it. They are always fundamentally sound. They got a big guy who can shoot.
Yeah.
But he's always in the paint every year.
And I think, yeah.
It's fundamentals. They do it the right way.
Yep.
And they're always successful.
Yep.
I mean, they might not win. They haven't won a title.
But they're there.
They're always in the hunt. They're always in the talk.
Yep.
And just so fundamentally sound
Yep.
that they're almost impossible to beat.
And I think that's how some of these, these mid-major teams are able to make it to the tournaments because they are fundamentally sound. And if you get a fundamentally sound team up against a non-traditional team, 9 times out of 10, they're going to give them a run for their money.
Yeah.
You get it down to the last 2 minutes, it's anybody's game.
And your fundamentals kick in.
Yeah.
They're not looking for the highlight.
Yep.
If they get one, great. Hey, that's awesome.
Looking for a bucket, looking for a win.
Yep.
Being able to shoot free throws.
Yeah. Oh,
fundamentals.
Yeah.
Man.
Which
Good-
we can
good
apply that
passes.
to the fire department too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the whole training thing.
Yep.
What's the
Yep.
fundamentals of moving
Yep.
a hose line? What's the fundamentals of
Yep.
cutting a hole in the roof?
Yep.
Basics.
Yeah.
That's true. That's great. That's a great analogy. Great analogy. Yep. Great.
So
Throw a ladder.
Multiple ladders.
what was it? Who said that, Bub?
Bub.
Know your shit, throw a ladder.
I know you heard that because
Oh,
he was there for
man.
your academy.
Yeah. Throw ladders. Throw ladders. Yeah.
James, what would you tell if you could sum up something for our current leaders and future leaders in public service in general, what would you, based off your experience already, what would you tell them?
Just be more aware of your surroundings. Let me see. Okay, Grandma, don't beat me up. It's be quick to listen and slow to speak. And I think that's the biggest problem is everybody wants to rebuttal what you say. And I think the problem is that we don't always want to listen. We always want to say, well, this is what we should do. Okay, let me hear your perspective. Let me listen to what you have to say. Let me think about what you just said. Now let me give you a rebuttal. But I think anymore we are quick to speak and we're slow to listen. We don't want to listen to what, for lack of better terminology, what the muckers have to say. Let's listen to what the upper brass is saying, and I don't care what you're saying at the bottom. And I think that's the biggest takeaway for me is that if we can just listen to what the next person has to say, formulate a logical response, I think we'd be so much further ahead. But we don't do that. We barely listen to what they say, and then before it's done, we're firing off a response. But you didn't have a chance to process it. You think you know what they're saying. You think you understand where they're going, but you didn't get a chance to process it because you're so ready to shoot it down or to give your own opinion. You've missed everything that they said. You may have been You may have gotten 10% of it, but you missed the 90%, which was their most important portion. You missed all that because you were just ready. Once they said, ambulance deployment, you're like, done. Here's what we're going to do. And it's like, whoa, you didn't even hear me out. But I know what you're going to say. Do you really? If we can listen better, formulate our responses, and then say something logical and try to get to the bottom of it, we'd be so much further ahead. And, I mean, we've been through this dog and pony show with, current deployments for 10 plus years now. And we're still, in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think we're any better for it than we were when we first started. It's a little bit better. I shouldn't say not any better, but we're only a small fraction of where we could be. But I think it's because everyone is quick to respond. Nobody wants to listen.
We're obviously with the pandemic we've been in for 20 years now, it seems like. Yeah. I've noticed in our areas that are really taking the hit. It's our public service. Mm-hmm. And where are your younger people in your public service? They're on the front lines. They are your frontline ER nurses. They're usually your ambulance staff. They're your young officers on the street. Yeah. They are taking the brunt of this. Yeah. And it's interesting. It's, every generation kind of has their claim, but this is all politics, all beliefs about it aside. It is kind of killing us as a system of public service. Sure. How do you, with your younger guys, whether you're in charge of a company for a day on overtime or with the younger guys in your station, how are you getting your younger generation through this to still be effective and still have passion?
Well, I think more than anything, we have to keep the humanistic side to it. We have to realize and understand that at the end of the day, we're all human. We all have our own personal opinions about what's going on, but we have to make sure that we still show emotional support and care for the next man up. I think what has happened is that, you have an older generation who believes a certain mindset, and it doesn't always line up with what the younger generation, what their mindset is. I think that we have to realize and understand that at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all have flaws. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that everyone is emotionally equipped to make it through that shift. And I think that's where we're losing people, is that we're turning people into robots. Just run the call, just do it. And we don't look at the emotional side of it till it's too late, till that person is burnout or that person has, contracted the virus and now this person is sick or on a ventilator or whatever the case may be. And now we want to show the emotion. But, prior to that, if you give just an ounce of prevention, an ounce of care, I think we would be better. I always make sure when I come in, do you guys need anything out of the COVID locker? Why? Just want to make sure you're protected. We're running calls left and right. We run into all these houses. We don't know. A lot of these patients don't know that they have the virus. But we run in willy-nilly, and some of the younger guys will, because of burnout, they may forget that mask. And I'm like, keep a mask in your pocket. I'm in the buggy. I got masks ready. I see a guy come out, don't have a mask. Here, put this on. I don't need that. Yeah, you do. You need that. I've been vaccinated. Well, that's fine, but doesn't mean that you can't get it. So I think we still have to keep that humanistic side, that emotional side intact and in check, because if we don't, we try to activate it and it's too late. That person is already far gone. Now we want to send them to this program to help. And those are Band-Aids. If we can help to prevent that person from going down that rabbit hole, why not do that? Prevention. We all go to a doctor. We should go to doctors to get all of our preventive care done, once a year. But you have to look at the job the same way. I can help prevent you from jumping in the fire too soon or too abruptly. We're always going to be at a higher risk because of what we do. But if I can help you to be more prepared or better prepared, then that's what we need to do. And I think that would be, the first step, just making sure that we keep everybody emotionally checked as far as, staying mentally ready for this job. Because I think, yes, this is a physical job, but it's like anything else. I think like sports, they say sports are, 15% physical, 85% mental. And I think that this job is a mental drag. And I think that a lot of this younger generation, we're training robots. Just go run the call. Just go do it. And I think we need to start checking our emotions at the door and making sure that everybody is emotionally equipped to handle the day, not just run the call, be quiet.
Well, that goes back to the point that you made earlier about being proactive.
Yeah.
Predictable is preventable.
Yeah.
I mean, we have past precedents.
Mm-hmm.
We know what happens.
Yeah.
If we don't take these steps,
Yep.
Why aren't we taking these steps?
Correct. I'm pretty sure that it's a nationwide deal. I mean, we get supplies weekly. I mean, tons of stuff. So if I can hand you out a pack of masks a day, I'm going to do it. I send out a text every morning. Hey, who needs something? We make the rounds. You need those? We'll drop them off. Just make sure that the guys are ready. And I think, to me, and I don't know how other departments or other shifts run, but I know my guys are more in tune or apt to come to me and say, hey, I need this. Can you do this for me? I got it. No problem. I want to make sure that I give you everything you need to be successful for that day. And that's just the way that I approach it. I think that's part of the individuals that I worked for. They always made sure that I had everything I needed. And I think that was something that I wanted to bring forward when I promoted, was to make sure that everything that my guys need, they got it. I don't have a crew, but I have a district. And it's not my district, but I'm an aide in the district, and I want to make sure that district is prepared. And I try to give guys heads ups and just to make sure that they got what they need. And I think that goes a long way. And I think I can hang my hat on that and say that, you know what, my guys know that I have their back, and if they need something, I'll get a phone call in the middle of the night. Hey, can you do this? I'm asleep, but yep, I got it. I'll have it waiting for you. That's just a part of being in this role and making sure that, if I tell you I got something for you, I want to make sure that I damn sure have it. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to do it, and then you'd be like, said you're going to do that. Oh, man, I forgot. I'm going to do it. So.
Well, that's part of that whole, the relationships you form.
Yeah.
And setting your district up for success.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and like I said, it's not always easy, but man, it's a challenge that I've accepted, and it's been great. I've been there for, I don't know, almost 2 years now, and I enjoy it. No, maybe 18 months. So I enjoy it.
Well, I think you're doing a great job, James.
You're gonna make me blush.
We wouldn't see it.
Oh, inappropriate.
He's right. He's true. Well, I do turn red, though. It's the Indian in me. Oh, wait, can't say that. It's the Native American in me.
Guys, when we played golf the other day, you pull out the sunscreen.
Oh, man.
And then one guy we're with, why do you need sunscreen?
It's a young guy.
He's a young
Doesn't
guy.
know.
Like,
I know
Doesn't
exactly.
know.
I know who you were golfing with. So yes.
I just look at him
I just
like,
kind of looked at him like, really?
seriously?
All right, buddy. Here, you take some, too.
Yeah.
Nah, let him learn.
He needs a big floppy hat so his brain doesn't burn.
No, this is great.
He's just naive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good dude. But some of the questions he asked, I'm like, what?
I just appreciate you guys doing what you're doing, putting words to everything that we go through in our industry, in our career, in our craft. Keep doing it, man. I think it's a great tool that you're putting out there. I hope that people are listening and subscribing and taking to heart and putting some of this to action. I think it's only words until people put those words into action. So I think that, my hat goes off to you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep rocking out. I think it's going to grow. I hope it grows.
I appreciate it.
These guys just keep chugging. You're going to get the naysayers, but Pay them no attention. Keep doing what you're doing because you're putting a voice to what it is that we do. And I think people, especially John Key Public, has no idea what we endure. They get all the negative press that goes out because that's what sells. But I think once you put, again, the humanistic or the emotional side, put it out there for people to see, what we go through on a daily basis, then people get a better perspective of what it is to be in a position that we are, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. So, yeah, that's the goal,
You guys are doing it, man.
Raise awareness and
that's it.
Let everybody know. So.
Keep doing it, man.
I think you should have my spot.
Dibs.
I'll come back whenever.
It wasn't offered to you.
No, dibs on the idea.
Yeah.
I'll
you
come
can't
back.
have dibs on the idea.
No, that was my idea. That's what I said it.
Fine. Wait. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Shut up.
I second it.
I'll
Stop
say-
talking.
Yeah. All in favor for Kelly having my spot? Aye.
No.
Just one vote. There's two.
I seconded it. So
Yeah,
that's
he
You still got to vote.
Okay, fine. Aye.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's like he's never been to a union meeting before.
I will come back whenever you. Whenever
Do you
you
even
guys,
know where the union hall is?
Whoa!
I've slept through more union meetings than you ever attended.
I'll come back whenever. I enjoy it. This is, like I said, this is good content. I appreciate it. Keep doing it.
Well,
Somebody's listening.
we appreciate that you've come on twice now,
Yeah.
and you're willing to come back again.
I want to do a trifecta.
Trifecta.
Little hat trick.
Sweet.
He'd be the first one to be on 3 times.
Yep.
Let's do it.
We'll make it happen.
Oh man, don't you threaten me with a good time.
Brother, thank you for
Cool
coming
right
on.
there.
Anytime. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you. Just like we end every episode, thanks for stopping by. And if you're having a problem, reach out. The resources are out there. If you know somebody that's having a problem, talk to them, make them aware of what resources are out there. So take care of yourself.
Here.